Evening there, pipe smokers of Ireland. This is Pipepastor coming to you once again. I feel a little bit better today than I have in a while. May not sound as good, but feeling better. How y'all doing? I trust you had a great St. Patrick's Day. We had a good time at our house. We looked at any of the videos on, I don't know if you guys watch my videos or not, but on the Pipe Smokers of Ireland, we posted a bunch of videos of our family sing along, singing Irish tunes and stuff like that. Don't know if you guys listen to any of it or not, but that's what we do. We have a little bit of Jameson, a little bit of Guinness, and it makes us sound a whole lot better than we really do, that's for sure. But it was a good time. Traditional corned beef and cabbage, some roast beef. We had some root vegetables like rutabagas and fingerling potatoes and all kind of the root vegetable stuff. I don't know what, even Brussels sprouts. My wife's such a good cook, she even makes Brussels sprouts taste good. In a little while later on today, I get to go honor a friend of mine, Bob Hayes, kind of a legend. Anytime they have a veterans parade or whatever around here, he's the grand marshal, and he's a living legend, man. He's 90, fought in 5 wars, even fought for the British, the Royal Air Force or whatever it's called, Royal something or other. Fought in World War II, Vietnam, Korea, and a couple of other conflicts. 5 as a fighter pilot. His hats have so many medals on them they give you a headache wearing them. He's a character, and it's a high honor to honor him today. Speaking of which, I got this in the mail this week, and it's from Pipe Smokers of Ireland, and it says in here that this is a deed made and entered into on March the 17th, and that it is to honor me as one of the residents of our pipe smoking community. Isn't that something? Here's a letter they sent with it. Congratulations, you have been designated as a distinguished member of a very select group within the Pipe Smokers of Ireland Facebook. You are hereby now a Pipe Smokers of Ireland St. Piper O Tobac. It comes with a great pleasure to bestow this honor upon you. It's truly something that only comes once in a lifetime, and more importantly, is non-transferable by any method. Simply put, you own it. I'll care you and the other brethren put this together. I mean, it's no secret, Care, that you're a class act, but this is something over and above what I deserve. That's for darn sure. I kind of come into the community a little late. Let me get this closer so you can see this. I come into the community a little late, and most of you other guys have already had some outstanding relationships and are very good friends. I'm just kind of a newbie Yank coming into this whole thing. So I feel so unworthy to get something like that. I honestly haven't deserved it. But it points to the gracious spirit of you gentlemen that you would include me in such an august group of men and women. Gosh, that's going to be framed right next to my knighthood charter. And I'm overwhelmed. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm putting together Michael Rizzo's package to send back to him. I was going to do it last week, but I ended up going to the doctor's office and complications, so I'm going to do it this week. I've decided to give him 2 Tinskys of mine, pipes that I love, because I'm tired of his whining. All this whining going on back and forth, people with envy about guys that own Tinskys. Well, Mark Tinsky is my pipe maker. Him along with Larry Roush are good friends of mine. And I always order at least 2 pipes from him a year, usually during Christmas time. There's nobody that's his equal when it comes to coral rustication and quality work. His pipes are always just exactly the same in quality, but he outdoes himself in his artistry. By the way, I'm smoking a cherry wood or cherry strained freehand. It's got a letter C on it. You guys can see that C there. I don't know what that stands for. Is that a Camoy? I don't know. Maybe you guys know. This was given to me as a gift. It was an estate pipe sent to me by one of the guys that subscribed to my YouTube channel, Pipepastor. Wonderful pipe. It's well in my mouth. Smokes long. I'm enjoying a pipe load of Black Gold Plus right now. Oh my gosh. It's delicious. So sweet. I want to thank you all who text messaged me, private messages talking about the St. Patrick's articles I put on there for St. Patrick's Day. And he's something. I mean, there's not quite a saint like him that absolutely converted an entire island, and with his limited education, so educated that island and brought literacy to that island, especially to their own language, that as Cahill has written in his book, basically the Irish saved civilization. If you haven't read that book, How the Irish Saved Civilization, you need to read that one, that's for sure. I know it's a stretch, but I want to extend the invitation to you gents that are out there who would benefit from our ManCamp this year. We're going to have it again. And it's a 3-day camp, Thursday afternoon to Saturday morning. And I'll do everything that I possibly can to make sure that guys from out of state can come. So far, young Aaron Thompson, one of the guys that came all the way from Illinois, stayed here. And then another, Seth Wade, ManCamp, came. I forget where he came from. But a camp is $150. And basically we're feeding you 3 times a day, and we're feeding you nothing but steak and meat and all kind of stuff. And it goes for the printing. Nobody gets any salary. I don't get anything for it. All on a volunteer basis for us. If you can get down here, I'll make sure that everything's taken care of for you as far as camping equipment. We'll make sure that you're comfortable, that you're warm. All you have to do is bring the proper clothing and toiletry, and we'll take care of you. If you come by plane, we'll make sure that we have transportation for you while you're here, and we'll make sure that if you're staying over Saturday night after the camp, that you have room and board somewhere. The camp is meant to help men deal with their issues and how to heal men from the wounds that they've sustained in life that make them angry, because a hurting man is an angry man. We prefer to be angry rather than being shamed or feeling shame or feeling rejection or feeling fear or any such thing. We'll choose anger. And the way to help a man manage his anger, because a man can't ever not be angry, it's built into our hormonal hardwiring to protect and provide and to move forward and deal with pain and sacrifice ourselves if necessary for our duty. It's not realistic to expect a man to not be angry, but rather how to manage his anger so that it's at his ready. That's what the whole thing about Thumas was about. And usually we deal with the 5 ways a man gets wounded, gets issues, many of which are undealt with and kind of smolder in his guts. And the top one is the top 2 we call the father wound and the mother wound. I'm not trying to get Freudian here, but just saying that a man's interaction with every other man in life, most especially those in authority, will stem from his relationship with his father or the lack thereof. And a mother wound basically comes about from the ways in which a father has been neglectful in his duties. A mother wound can basically be described as loving too much or caring too much, which comes across to a kid, a boy, as control. Mothers can be controlling, sure. But a man's relationship with every other woman in his life, most especially his wife or his lovers, and women in authority, stem from that relationship he has with his mother. And nobody likes to be angry with their folks. There's a whole lot of toxic stuff that can happen when your father hurts you or your mother hurts you that keep you from dealing with it. But if you shove it down, it turns into either misandry issues relating to your feelings about your own masculinity and masculinity in general, and misogyny issues or misogynist issues, dealing with women, either out of the fear of women or out of the hatred of women or the anger at women, what have you. And then the other wounds happen because of betrayal from friends, girlfriends, situations that we call out of control, whether it's birth defect or whatever might have happened that was outside your control, and what we call punching yourself in the nuts, or issues in your life that have been created because of your own stupid repeated mistakes, and so you have anger toward yourself. And we have steps that can help you deal with those things. Now at a camp, I mean a 3-day camp, you can't experience true life change. I mean, changing the way you think, which basically is what the Greek word metanoia, or what the Bible says is repentance, changing the way you think is hard. And especially when things are ingrained. And then translating that change of thinking into a change of behavior is hard. And it never becomes natural. It'll always be a feeling that you're walking uphill. It takes some work, but you can change. But when you get tired, you get stressed, that's when we tend to default into the things that were already ingrained in us. Excuse me. So the camp is about creating for you a molten moment, or a moment of clarity, or a flashpoint, as it were, to dislodge and disengage with stuff you've been hanging on. Do your part to let it go. And that's where we have our cathartic fire, what we call Kill Bill. Kill the boyish, immaturity issues that lack leadership, basically. You can do it in this camp. You can get over the hill at this camp. It's what you do afterward, though, that really affects life change. Requires studying, self-awareness, journaling, and just being aware of the pitfalls in your own character and what to do about maintaining a life of righteousness and courage and virtue at least 80% of the time. I know very few people I've met have had the uphill walk that I've had, and that's not to toot my own horn. That's just to say it's the way of things. It's just the way it happened with me. Basically meaning that if I could be a halfway decent human being, so can you, man, because everything about my past would have, if you'd done the math, caused me to be a sociopath or a psychopath. I don't discount the fact of the impact of my salvation and my relationship with my Savior. But that doesn't just cure everything. There's a 5% left that we need to do, and that 5% feels pretty hard sometimes. So the camp helps you sunder the hill, locate where you're hurt, locate your wounds, and then gives you some steps that you can take, if you're willing to at least exercise your will in moving forward. A man is not a man at last until he reconciles his past. The other thing that this camp does is it bestows manhood. Do you know that manhood has to be bestowed? A man just doesn't all of a sudden become a man. From history on, rites of passages were created to give a boy a certain reference point or a line in the sand when he stopped being a boy and became a man and started to become a man. And if you ask most men, when is it that you became a man, they can't tell you. They can't even tell you what manhood is. But manhood has historically been something bestowed by one's father and tribal elders who recognize that you've done the work to be one. And there's something about having hands laid on you and men saying, This day you became a man, and a moral man, a virtuous man, a hardy man, a man equipped with knowledge on what a true man is, and therefore able to implement those things in your life, to your woman, to your children, and so forth and so on. That is something that's artificial. It is outboard equipment. It is given to you. And every man has the hunger to be initiated into manhood. This is what this camp is. It's an initiation camp to initiate men into manhood. If you don't have it initiated to you, what most men do, including myself, is we try to initiate ourselves. We try to initiate or create our own rites of passage, including joining a gang, having sex with a lot of women, having sex in all kinds of different ways we can possibly can to be the champion in bed, to be the man. Racing cars, all kinds of stupid things that we do because we don't know it, but inside our heart is a gnawing hunger to be a man, and we're trying to qualify. So the camp is meant to get you healed, and it's meant, or at least embark on the healing journey, and also to bestow upon or initiate you into manhood. We accomplish those things. Two goals, two simple goals. About the only thing you can do in any kind of seminar, week-long conference, or whatever, is that it's a catalyst towards starting something that is up to you then to take seriously enough to continue. In our church, where that sponsors this camp, our men have groups that they meet in on a weekly basis. They have people they call on a daily basis. They've got mentors. They've implemented all these things to help them fly straight. If you're serious about being a man, and when you have children, you really need to be serious about the kind of man your children see you to be. Too many parents abdicate the responsibility of raising their children to their teachers and their coaches and other people because they're too busy doing their own thing. They haven't carved out time. They haven't made it priority number one to build their boys into men, build their girls into women. And I did not want anyone else to be my kids' heroes but me. I didn't want anyone else to tell my children how to live their lives but me. I didn't want anybody else's philosophy pointing my children in other directions different from mine, because if I believe mine are right, I want to pass them to my kids. I believe Jesus Christ is the only way to salvation and to get to heaven. You may believe something different, but I believe that with all my heart. I don't believe there's another way. I want to make sure my kids know that map. I want to make sure they know how to get there. I want to make sure when I get there, I'm going to see them there. They're going to see me there. So it's a race. It's a competition. It's warfare. And other things that I see encroaching on our world. You know, the idea of tolerance to me is a joke. The thing thrown at me by my society that Christianity is intolerant and everybody else is tolerant is hogwash. The whole definition of tolerance as a worldly standpoint is basically tolerating anything other than what isn't tolerating you. And so it's intolerance. Tolerance is built off of the very definition of being intolerant, because what it's saying to me is I have to be able not only to make room for your beliefs, but to hold your beliefs as equally true to mine in order for me to be considered tolerant. Well, I don't believe Satanists and their belief system are equally as right as mine. I don't think that a pedophile and his belief system is equally as right as mine. I don't tolerate that. And so I think intolerance sometimes is a virtue. Last week, I think somebody came out, some celebrity dressmaker, who's made all these dresses for everybody. Forgive me, I'm not a detail person, but makes these dresses for everybody that goes to the Grammys and so forth and so on. And everybody loves his dresses. He came out and said he believed that, his belief system, he believed that the best kind of home to raise children in is a home that has a father and a mother. He wasn't imposing those views on everybody else. He was just saying what he believes. Elton John got offended by that, and so got all of the celebrities that got dresses from to boycott him, throw their dresses away or their clothes away. Basically going to ruin this man's business. These are the people that are trying to champion the philosophy of tolerance. That's very intolerant. It's okay for Elton John to not agree with that, fine. But to then act punitively toward this man and vitriolic toward this man for his own belief systems is intolerance. I don't want my kids raised like that. I don't want my kids to believe that. I believe there's right, wrong. I actually believe there's such a thing as good and evil. I don't believe everybody's definition of good is true. I don't believe everybody's definition of evil is true. I don't want them telling my kids what's good and what's bad. I want to tell them that. I want to be the pivotal point in their life. I want to be the reference point in their life. I think that goes hand in glove with being a dad. It's not just a sperm donor. It's being a philosopher. It's being a teacher. It's being a hero. We go over some of these issues at the camp. July the 30th, 31st, and August the 1st. Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. We meet up in the mountains about 7,500 feet. It's cold at night, kind of warm in the day. And we do nothing but be with each other, smoke pipes and cigars, have manly conversations about our issues, do some readings, do some devotions, hear some preaching or teaching, and eat a lot of meat. So if this is for you, then you need to contact me about it. You need to start planning for it right now. It is an investment. If you knew what I know about the camp, you'd make that investment. I believe every man needs it. Some men don't even know that until they take the camp and then thought, whew, I'm glad I did that, man. At night we can sit around and smoke some pipes and talk about things. You forge a relationship with a group of brothers who've gone through the same thing you're going to be going through, that will help you, that can empathize with you, and will be at the ready to talk with you whenever you want them to. And like I said, I'll take care of all your camping needs if you're flying. And if you're driving, you can bring your own if you want. We got tents, we've got camp trailers, everything. And it will start 12 noon on Thursday and 12 noon on Saturday. Let me know if you're interested. You know I'd love to have you. So I'll talk to you more about this. If you go on Facebook and type in Sharp Men's Ministry or Sharp Men's Camp or ManCamp. Also, our camp for boys is the following week, and that's called Man Makers. If you go on Google and type in manmakerscamp.com, you should find it. Until then, next time I talk to you, this is the Pipepastor signing off. Slanche.